Hello everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from stampyourartout.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Andover, Minnesota in the US. And I am here to bring you a live that is featuring projects, alternate projects that I've created with the January 2024 Lovely Lavender Paper Pumpkin Kit. I love kits, and I love creating with them. It is Wednesday, January 24th, by the way, 2024, as I'm coming to you live, and it's 11 a.m. Central Time. I'm recovering from a cold. I was traveling last week, got home Tuesday night, did my live on Wednesday of last week, and then had this fun weekend with my Silver Elites here at my house. And I am now kind of in my first rest mode as far as trying to get rid of my cold. So if you hear a little bit of congestion in my voice, that is the reason why. I would like to welcome Trisha Josephs and Lisa Marshall. They are my moderators. I have Trisha Josephs on YouTube. If you want to tag her, you type her name, Tricia, right after you type the @ sign. So you first type the @ sign and then immediately start typing her name, and it will tag her. You just click her name and it'll tag her so that she can see your question or your comment. And then we have Lisa Marshall on Facebook. Thank you so much, gals, for being with me again. You are so wonderful, and I love your help that you give each week. In this video, I'm going to share step-by-step directions for 3 different style cards with this kit. I got to creating, I think it was yesterday morning. Can you believe it? Actually, it was on Monday night and then yesterday morning, so a combination of the 2 days together, and I came up with 3 different ideas, plus a few more that I have in my head, because I always share my first set of alternates right away after I get my kit, and then I share a few more before the next subscription period begins. So it's so fun to see your names roll in with your comments. When you comment, by the way, you get entered into a drawing for prizes, so make sure that you're doing that, even if it's just to say hello or to tell me what you're doing right now. Maybe you're drinking coffee, maybe you're vacuuming. Just sit back and enjoy, though, if you do not have the ability to chat. Let's see, what else do I want to tell you before we get started? You can find links regarding paper pumpkin kits and how you can get your hands on them in the description of my video. And if you're watching on Facebook, I'll shift that description over from YouTube after the live is done. You can also get links for the supplies that I'm using. You can get links to all kinds of things, how to get the starter kit, how to get more information about paper pumpkin kits, how to subscribe, all kinds of fun things. And the blog post, that's what I was trying to get to. The blog post that's connected with this video will go live hopefully by 2 p.m. today. I will be doing one other version of a card today, and I want to photograph that and get that added to the blog post before I have it go live. So check back. I'm sorry I don't have an exact time right now, but it'll be by 2:00 p.m. Central Time, so within 3 hours after the live. All right, I think we're ready to get going. So I'm going to bring you to my desktop right away here, you guys. Here is my fun little glass mat studio for working on. I've also got some paper in case we have too much glare or in case I want to stamp off onto this sheet. So I have that handy. We're going to start with a shaker card, and I'm going to bring in these supplies here. Let me first show you what the intended project is for this kit. So this kit will make 2 different style cards plus some fun, pretty tags or bookmarks. You could use them as tags, or you could, put them inside of a book and hold your spot. It comes with coordinating envelopes. Yeah, very pretty stuff. And then the little insert here has directions on how to put together all of those cards and projects. They've changed something up. If you're familiar with paper pumpkin kits, they've changed up something. You no longer see the black printing or the printed images on the plastic sheets that hold the photopolymer stamps. Instead, they've added in this slip of paper here, and you can use that like if you're going to put it into a stamp case or whatever, but you can add this to your case, your sleeves, whatever you store your stamps in, and then just, know which stamps you're missing if something's gone. All right, so I'm using the parts and pieces of the card. There's actually two different cards in here, so I'm using this piece here and this base here, and we're going to cut off the back part of that base. The back part is just as pretty as the front part. We're going to just cut this in half, and we're going to use this instead. We're also going to be using a sheet of cardstock that I brought from my stash. It's basic white cardstock, and I've already put some score lines in here so that it's folded in half. And then this piece is going to fold back onto itself to create a Z fold. Let's just bring in this tool here. This is called a bone folder. It helps crease everything nice and strong. So now we have our Z fold, and you can see why it's called a Z fold. Held this way, it forms the letter Z. This is going to be added to the front so that when we take and open our card, we see what's on the front of the card while we have the card open. Let's start by doing some designs on the inside of the card. So I'm going to take my stamps, and I have this stamp here that has the word love on it. We're going to bring in our grid paper so that we have something to stamp off on. I like to make alternates with these kits because kits are something like, especially for Paper Pumpkin, you get the kit and that's what you have, like a scripted project in it, right? And sometimes, especially with Paper Pumpkin, because it's a surprise, you may end up with a kit that maybe doesn't float your boat. And so we're going to make alternates, or I make alternates every single month with these kits, so that someone can say, oh yeah, you know what, I didn't like the kit cards the way they were, but I like this project idea instead. So you can change things up. You can use your creativity. I'm just slipping my Stampin' Pierce mat underneath my grid paper, and I'm laying these pieces down on the inside here where I want them to kind of sit. And that way I can see that I have room for my word love right over here. And I'm going to shift that up a little bit. I'm going to look at my finished one real quick. I want to make sure I'm positioning it sort of in the same spot. Yes, okay. So it's about 1.5 inches from the bottom of my card, right about, and I'm using Gorgeous Grape ink. It's the same color that comes in your kit. So you get this little tiny ink spot that looks like this, but I just like to use the ergonomic, I'm sorry, not ergonomic. I like to use the larger stamp pads. Sorry, I held that way too long because I'm busy talking. There we go, we have our word love. Let's stamp with the word with, right above that O, with love. Okay, so the ink pad is not ergonomic, it's just larger, but the blocks are ergonomic that Stampin' Up! Carries. You get a clear block, kind of a thinner, it looks like this, clear block in your first kit when you first get your Paper Pumpkins. Okay, but I'm using the other kind because I don't want to keep changing mine out. But yes, you can purchase additional clear blocks. Now we're going to use one of the greenery type images. We're going to stamp it in purple. We're going to actually stamp some of the ink off onto our grid paper. And I just want to make sure I've got my, there we go. So we're going to stamp once, and we're going to stamp twice. And this will lighten the ink. Do you see how it's getting lighter and lighter? And now I'm going to come in, and I'm going to move these pieces away, and I'm going to stamp that down, just like that. So now we have a nice, really light purple on the background. Let's put our ink aside for a minute. And I'm going to flip these over and use some Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue, which I've got in this really cute holder from thecountryhive.com. This is our multi-purpose liquid glue, and I've transferred it into a precision tip bottle because I want just a real fine stream of it to come out. When you transfer it to this bottle, you just want to make sure that the glue doesn't touch the sides of the bottle. Otherwise it kind of clogs up as you're dumping it in. We'll just go like this. Okay. Precision tip gluing is always easier when you're not on camera. We'll just set that right there. Now this one has some little skinny spaces between here. So we're going to do the little stem. Because I usually have like my head right over my project and this is down on my table, but it's easier for me to see and my head doesn't get in the way if I can bring it up to my face a little bit more. So we've got our glue on the back side. We're just going to overlap those two like that. And now we've got the inside of our card almost done. And when I say almost, we're going to add some little sparkles in there later on. But let's flip it over and you see that little excess pieces from the stem? We're just going to snip those off. Okay, we have that ready. Now let's work on a little strip here. This is a strip of cardstock that I cut that is 5/8 of an inch tall by, I don't even know. It's just a long strip. Let's see what we made this. 4 inches. Okay. And on our, yes, so on our finished card, we're going to snip off a little bit of this. I was just peeking at my finished one just to make sure I was doing it right. So I'm going to take the banner punch. Now you could just cut with your scissors if you want to, but I have this handy dandy banner punch. It's called the Banner's Pick-a-Punch, and it has room to put a 1/2 inch cardstock strip or a 3/4 inch cardstock strip. This is kind of in between, so when I lay this in here, I want to make sure that it's laying in there nice and even between the edges. I have to keep picking it up here. There we go. Now it's laying in between, and I flip it over and I can see that it's centered, and I'm going to snip. So now I've cut the end of that banner. I think I'm going to trim it down just a little bit more though, because I think it's too long. It's not too bad. I'm just going to trim off like 1/8 of an inch. There. And now I have a piece that I lined up on my window earlier. So see this piece here? I stamped another strip that's about the same size as far as height goes, and I stamped it on here, lining this left edge up with this, this right edge up with this right edge, so that my words were centered. So I'm going to use that as a guide. I'm just going to lay that right next to it and ink up our word, Happy Valentine's Day, with the same color ink. This is the ink, remember, the same color that comes in the kit. I just have a larger pad. Flip that over there for a minute, line this up again, and now I'm using that to just kind of eyeball where this one will go. And there we go. Now I'll use my bone folder, and I'm going to curve my cardstock like that, and then I'm going to flip up this end like that. I think I'm going to make it a little bit sharper of a increase. There. So we have that done. That will be added to the card when we're close to finished. I'm going to move this out of the way because we've got all our stamping done. And we're going to bring in our pieces again. So you may have seen this shiny piece. We're not going to use that, by the way. You may have seen this shiny piece. This is a window sheet. Stampin' Up! Sells window sheets. I hope I added, you know what, I might not have added that to the supply list. I better add that in. But we're going to use this to make our shaker. So here it is. That's what I was looking for. So for our shaker, we're going to add a plastic, or you could even use vellum, something that's see-through. We're going to add that to the back side of our window. And your window sheet could be bigger if you want it to be. It doesn't have to be though. It just has to cover the window. Shaker cards are fairly easy to make. I think the most frustrating part of it is just the teetiness of it. It's a little oh, now I don't even know the word because I'm not feeling good and I want to cough. Tedious, that's the word. Sorry about that. So yeah, it's a little, it's detailed. Okay, we're gonna move on, Rachel. So yeah, a little time consuming. but it's so worth it because when the person receives your shaker card, it's interactive. The little pieces inside the window will shake. So we're peeling off this tape, and it's not connected all the way around. This is where your tape does not necessarily need to connect. We just want to make sure that we can get this window piece, and I have a little section there, this window piece right over the top of the window. So it's taking up the whole window, and so that you have a little extended beyond, because we're going to put shakers on top of this, little sequins and things that move. But now the next step involves putting some dimensional kind of tape. And we have this foam tape, it's called foam strips. And this foam tape is long and skinny, and it's like dimensionals, only it's long and skinny and thin. So this is where we need to get a little more accurate with our adhesive. We're going to take these pieces, these little strips I should say, and we're going to add them all the way around the window. So I'm going to connect, and I want to make sure my adhesive isn't showing through the window. And we're going to connect, and we're going up as close as we can to the edges of the window. And all of these areas are closed off because it's going to hold the sequins. Let's take another strip here. And I'm just going to manipulate it on the sheet here. So connect. And then the last pieces. Backing's coming off here, hang on. I think I'm going to bring it up right next to it like this. There we go. Okay, so we have all of our pieces on here, and they're flush right up next to each other, okay? I'm going to take this last strip, might as well use it, and we'll put one over here. The backing keeps coming off, sorry you guys. We'll put one over here, and that will help to lift our piece because we have to connect it. We have to connect this to this, and it'll give that same lift on this side over here because I have an extra strip over there. Okay, before we take the backings off of these though, we're just going to take and pounce a little bit of the static, the little anti-static pillow in here, and that will help to kind of add a little tiny faint amount of powder. It will remove some of the static. We're also going to do that to the surface of this piece. And now we're going to fill in. Okay, so we're going to use some sequins here. We're going to take the iridescent shaker circles, grab a few of them, and add them. I'm just scooping them with my strip of paper here. And then we'll use the loose silver sequins. And we'll scoop them in. Like that. So we have just a fun amount of shaker stuff, but not too much, right? And now we can take and peel these off carefully all the way around. You don't want to peel them off before, and the reason why is because some of your shaker pieces could stick to the tape as you're adding the shakers into that little hole there, okay? This one wants to cling already. There. Okay, and then this gets added upside down on top. So we're lining up all the corners, which is harder to do at an angle here. I'm going to bring this closer to me. I hope it's not too far off camera. And I'm just checking to make sure all the corners are set, and then we're going to press it down. And we'll lift it up. And there we have our shakers inside the window. It's so much fun. See? It just brings joy, doesn't it? This will get added to the front of our card now. So we're just going to add some seal along here, or you could use the multi-purpose liquid glue. You do get adhesives with your kits. You don't get a scissors. The scissors is pretty much the only tool, the extra tool that you need to add. Here, I'm going to go like this. You don't get scissors, but you have adhesives within your kit. And this kit has, lining up the corners again. This kit has dimensionals in it, and it has some nice size glue dots. There. Ta-da! We did it, almost. Now I'm going to show you how to add the banner. So this is the adhesive that comes in this kit. But I always like to supplement with other adhesives. This is quick and easy for me to use. So is the multi-purpose liquid glue. And then once in a while you even get like tear and tape in your kits. This is nice because it's a nice thin strip and it lays exactly where you want it to go. Okay, so let's put adhesive here and some adhesive here. And hopefully these are far enough apart. I didn't think about that, Rachel. Rachel, you know what I should have done? You put the adhesive first on this corner. That's what I did on my original one. And then you put it actually on the card, right under here. But hopefully we aimed it in the right spot. And it's okay if it's on the window too. What I'm doing is I'm pushing the Valentine phrase up a bit to give it a little bit of a lift. And now I'm sticking it down. So yeah, you can get adhesive on your window, I forgot. So now, can you see that now? It's got a little bit of a lift to it, so it bends away from the card. So fun, almost like there's a dimensional under it. And then the last thing I would do would be to take this precision tip bottle and put little tiny glue dots, or dots of glue everywhere, so that in the end, you end up with this, little sparkles that have floated outside of the shaker. So these sequins, these little tiny, these are called shaker circles. Inside here, they're not just circles, but within you have the insides of the circles too. So the little tiny, tiny dots that are just tiny circles. And that's what I glued here. And then I also glued a couple sequins from the loose silver sequins on there, which come in different sizes. So that is one fast and easy card to make, a little tedious with the shaker portion of it, but if you follow the steps, it's pretty quick. Okay, the next card that I'm going to do for you is using this base. Here we go. We have this card base that comes in the kit, and it is not purple. So for those of you who maybe this is just too much purple for you, you can do a card that has no purple in it whatsoever. I've brought in some cardstock. This is one of my favorite greens, and it is going to be leaving us in a few months. When the new annual catalog begins at the beginning of May, this color will be gone. It's called Parakeet Party, and it's a beautiful, beautiful green. Obviously, it's one of my favorites because it's the color in one of my logos, or my logo color. But also along with that is Tahitian Tide, Starry Sky, Orchid Oasis, and a red one, Sorbet, Sweet Sorbet. So keep in mind that those colors are leaving. If you love any of them, you might want to stock up on them now while you can earn some celebration freebies. Once March and April hit, the news of these leaving colors is really going to be out there. So I'm telling you now. And then they tend to sell out. So we're going to take this card base and we're going to make a green and crumb cake card. So instead of folding in this direction, we're going to fold in this direction instead. We want that crumb cake color to appear mostly on the inside of our card. We're going to start tearing, and I'm tearing about an inch up from the bottom. And if you want to, you can peek underneath and look to see if you're kind of staying in line by looking at these dots. So as I tear, I kind of want to have a straight tear, but I want it to be torn. And I'm pulling up. So when I'm tearing, I don't know if you guys remember this technique, but as I'm tearing and I'm pulling up on the same side, I'm exposing the core of my cardstock here, okay? So I'm going to keep peeking here. Looks like I'm staying in line. And there's my torn off piece. Now to make that torn off piece even more exciting, we're going to flip it over so that we can see the core of the card piece exposed this way. It really shows off when you have it against your color. And we're going to tuck that underneath. So now we have two torn edges that are showing when we have our card like this. We're going to add this piece right now with our seal adhesive or multi-purpose liquid glue or whatever your adhesive of choice is. And we're going to add that underneath so that it's peeking out in this area and so it lines up with those dots that are already on the card. Do you see that? So I'm lining up my dots here with the dots that are already on there so that all that little dot design just continues to flow. Can you see? This piece is just a 1/2 inch too tall, so we're going to trim off a 1/2 inch so we have 3 inches for one piece and a 1/2 inch for another. These are both, I believe, yes, 5.5 inches wide. We're going to add this one to the inside of the card. If I wanted to stamp on it, I'd probably want to do my stamping first, but I'm just going to add it directly in here so that it's about 1/8 inch from the top, or the fold I should say, 1/8 inch from the fold that's going through the middle. And this 3-inch space should get covered if you follow the rules of the tearing about 1 inch, right? Now if you tear even deeper, this is going to have to be even shorter. But 3 inches will fit if you tear off just an edge. This piece is going to get added to the front. So we want a little green accenting on the front. And I'm going to use the lines of my grid paper. Every one of these squares is 1/4 inch. So if I just lay it on one of my lines here, I want to go up 1 1/4 inches. So 4 squares plus another, and that puts us about here. And I'm coming at an angle, so hopefully I'm straight on, you guys. This looks straight to me. Yeah, woohoo! Looking at my little reflection here on my camera. Okay, this piece is going to get added with the precision tip glue bottle because we have skinny little areas. And there, now we have it sitting flat on our surface, a little bit easier for me to handle. Should have done that before, I didn't think of it. So we're just coming in with a little thin line of glue all the way through here. You can use your tweezers, or if you have fingernails that work as tools, you can use them, which is what I'm doing. And we're going to add the love off to the lower, or I should say middle left. I was thinking just in this section here, it's the lower left of the upper right, upper white area, and we'll just tack that down. Now, I like to add a little bit of pizzazz, so we're going to bring in some ribbon, and here it is. This is our silver and white sheer ribbon. That is 1/2 inch in thickness. We're going to tuck that behind, making sure that there's no twists or turns, and then we're going to bring it off to one side here. Now, if we don't have it in the perfect spot, that's okay. I tie my knots before I glue my ribbons down in place. So I'm just going to shift to make sure that it's straight and in the approximate area horizontally that I want it to be. And I'm going to tighten it by keeping it flat and putting my finger right in the middle like that. My ring finger is holding it. I'm going to use my other fingers to do another overhand to finish off the knot. Okay, so now our knot is done, but our ribbon isn't sitting exactly where I want it to go, and all I have to do is just kind of shift it like this. I'm going to use the glue dots in the kit. This is where I really love the glue dots in the kit because they are thinner than our other glue dots. And I'm just going to take one of them and lift them up stick it down underneath the knot, like that. I'm going to press with my fingernail to get it to go flat, and I'm going to flick off the backing from the glue dot. Now all I have there is a round, flat glue dot. And what I want to do is just give it a little bit of a roll, and I can do that with my Take Your Pick tool, or with my fingernail, or my scissors, and I just want to roll it a little bit towards itself so it's not so round, and so it's more like, I don't know, a little rolled up blanket or something. So there we go. I've heard other people call it a burrito. I think that's a cute name. Okay, now we will take and trim off the ends of our ribbon. And because we have some silver in here, I thought it would be fun to add just a little bit more silver. So we'll be using the Rhinestone Basic Jewels here. And let's grab our Take Your Pick tool if I can find it. I had it here. Oh, found it. That is why I haven't been using it yet, because I couldn't find it, you guys. Okay, so we're going to take a large one, stick it here, a small one right next to it, and then a medium. So there's 3 different sizes on the rhinestones, and we'll just put that one down there. And now we have a card that has no purple in it whatsoever, in case purple isn't your thing. Let me show you a couple other versions of that card. Here is one done with Pool Party. Pool Party and Crumb Cake are beautiful beach colors. So if you're looking for a great color combination with Crumb Cake, I highly recommend either Coastal Cabana, Bermuda Bay, it's an older color, but that one works great too, or Pool Party. Just so soft and so pretty, and just reminds me of the sand. So we have those. We have one done with Calypso Coral, which also kind of reminds me of the ocean, right? Coral. So here's the inside of that one. And you can stamp on, you know, colors that aren't super light, like this is a medium tone, I would say. And then I have one other version, and this time you'll notice that the word love is slightly different. This is done with Lemon Lolly and the Crumb Cake base. So pretty, right? Lots of different versions. Now, how did I get the love to be cut out like that from cardstock? I used cardstock to cut it because I used some coordinating dies. These are the dies that you can get if you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, and all of these dies coordinate with the January kit, the February kit, and the March kit. Let's say you're falling in love with this kit. There is a refill that is currently available and only available to subscribers. If you get subscribed, then you can purchase those items. You can purchase refill kits and you can purchase dies that coordinate. You can do that today if you want. These dies are called the Love of Spring dies. And again, they're going to coordinate with not only this kit, but the February and the March kits. So get your hands on those if you are a subscriber or you want to be a subscriber. The refill kit, by the way, does not include the stamps or the inks. So all of the stamp images and the little tiny ink spot, those are not included with refill kits. But again, like with the inks, you can always get your hands on the color in the larger size, and you can always get in on other stamps. So you don't have to necessarily use the exact same stamps with your refill kit. There's plenty of stamps out there to choose from. So if you like that, I do have that listed as one of the items that you can purchase as a supply item to make the projects that I'm sharing today. Now, let's say you didn't get this kit, you don't want this kit. I hope that the ideas that I'm sharing can be applied to other products that you already own. Let's set these aside. We've got already a couple cards ready to go, but I want to show you one other one, and I'm not going to walk you through all the steps of it, but if you watched my live last week, you saw me make these fun little curved pieces of designer paper before I assembled my star column card. Let's just take and do another piece like this. We're going to cut our strip 3 inches tall instead of 5.5 inches tall. So last week, oops, I still need this. Last week we did 5.5 inches tall to make our star column cards, from the Simply Adored paper. I'm going to score at 1/2 inch, flip it around, score at 1.5 inches. This time I'm making just a 3-inch tall piece, and you'll see why soon. 3.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5. We're going to go every inch at the 1/2 inch mark in between the two numbers. 5.5, 6.5. So if my first mark was at 1/2 inch, and then I'm scoring so that I have 1 inch wide sections all the way through. I'm at 8.5 now, 9.5, 10.5, and now we're going to trim at 11 inches. So we have another 1/2 inch section at the end here. I'm trimming 1 inch off. I'm going to keep that, but I have a 1/2 inch here, and I have a 1/2 inch here, and every spot in between is 1 inch in width. Okay, let's fold this the right way. Last week, I think because I just got off a flight on Tuesday, I was kind of like in la land. But I'm going to give you a tip. If you're still struggling with making the folds in the star column cards for the DSP, for the paper, this is my tip for you. After you have all those score lines in there, you're going to score 1, 2, 3, 4 times in the same direction. Do the same thing on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got 4 times in the same direction. Then I'm going to fold the whole thing in half, and I'm going to score again right through that crease. And there's only 2 other creases that we've formed that we haven't folded yet. They are here and here. And those are going to go in the reverse direction. Okay? So instead of folding that way, we're folding this way. 1, and here's the other one, 2. And that's how you end up with this bird-looking thing, like that, right? Okay, so let's tape them together. We still need this piece here. Let's grab our seal adhesive, and we're just going to focus on this 1/2 inch section here. And we're going to put adhesive right along that section on the side that we want to be the most exposed. So here it is. Now we're going to tuck that under, and we're going to take these next 2 sections and pretend they're all one piece, and we're going to flatten that down. I'll do that again. Adhesive just in that 1/2 inch section. My seal is almost come. There we go. The seal came out. Okay, so I've got my tape there. Now I'm going to tuck that under and grab these next 2 sections as if they're all one flat piece and flatten it down on my table. Let's do that again here. 1/2 inch. So if you have not seen last week's live, again, I was tired and I kind of like bleh. But you want to check it out. Tuck that under. 1, 2, flatten those down. Okay, the next one. And then we're going to put these together. Tuck that under. Next 2 sections. Flatten it down. Okay, now we're going to add these together. Okay, so you're going to look at the inside valley fold here, and you're going to bring the middle of this one and the middle of this one up and towards that middle fold. So here's the middle, right? If you're flattening the whole thing down like that, here's the valley. Bring these middle to the valley. We're going to put adhesive right along here and along here, right where they meet. And we're going to connect them with a strip of designer paper, that extra 1/2 inch strip, or I'm sorry, 1 inch strip that we had set aside. Now they're connected, so they won't open up like this anymore, right? Now do you see this crease again? This one here? Well, not again, but you see this one and this one. This is flat in between. You want to put adhesive all in that area. So we're going to do that, but first let's make sure we know how to flatten this one down again. Here's our valley. Here's the middle of those 2 sections. We're going to take those 2 sections and we're going to bring them inward like that. So this section is going to get connected to this section. Let's just hold that flat. We're going to put adhesive all throughout here. Don't go over those score lines, by the way. You want adhesive just between these two score lines. Make sure that the direction of your design is going the same direction on the other piece. Okay, you don't want your flowers to be upside down on one half. I've flipped the whole thing over. I'm going to lay it flat and I'm going to connect all the corners together. What we've done is we just did a super quick mini little star column card. With that card, we have, here it is. We have some pieces that I need to bring in from the kit. And where did I get this beautiful paper? I got it from some coordinating products. We have a whole coordinating suite of products in the mini catalog, the current mini catalog. This is the current one. It goes through April. And I'm using the Perennial Lavender Suite paper. So if you look here, you can see that we have designer paper. We even have these beautiful gems, a couple stamp sets, a couple sets of dies, and these beautiful paper flowers that you can get that coordinate with the paper pumpkin kit. So I used this sheet, obviously. Here are some other sides of those designs. They all come with 2 sheets of each, and they're double-sided and they're 12 by 12, but of course I've used up a ton of this, so I don't have much to show you, but I did want to show you that paper. It's called Perennial Lavender. Okay, so that's where I got this paper from that coordinates with this kit. This piece here was left over from that other strip that I had already pre-cut and scored. And I put a score line right through the middle of this one, right in the middle, and I'm going to now cut it in half. So it is 3 inches tall. I'm going to make it 1.5 inches tall. I'm going to take these 2 pieces and I'm going to fold them so that the design I like is inside. I'm going to set those aside. This piece here gets a little bit of adhesive, and it's just going to get adhesive, this set of branches here is going to get adhesive just on that branch and this tiny one here, and then the bottom and the little strand here. The rest of this is going to fall off to the side when I add it to my label piece. It's a label or a tag piece because it has a hole in it. We want to get rid of that hole, so I'm going to show you how to do that. But first, let's just add this like that. I'm looking at my finished one. Okay, so we've got it connected. No glue is on the back side. That little spot there could pop out, but we're going to save it by putting a rhinestone over the top. And that rhinestone is bigger, so it's going to hold on to everything. And then I want another rhinestone down here. And then we're going to save another, like a middle-sized one for, actually we can put it on now. We'll stick that one right down here. Let's grab some more of that ribbon. Oh, I don't have much left. I do love this ribbon. We're going to take a bit of it and tie it into a knot like that. And again, I'm doing the same thing where I make sure my sides are where I want them to be. I'm holding my ring finger down on top of the knot, and I'm doing one more overhand, and I'm cinching. We can trim that up. I think I might just kind of shift that one up so they're both kind of going up and away. Trim. We'll go this way. And trim. And then we're going to shift it even higher. Then we're going to take this piece and we're going to add it with dimensionals. So you can use the dimensionals in your kit. I do have some scraps over here that I want to use up, so we're going to grab those. And I'm going to add one right at the top. Let's see here. Let's just see where it's going to fit. going to fit like that. I'm going to shift this a little bit higher if I can. Okay, it's going to go right there. I guess it's only going there. My other one is a little higher, but we're going to stick this dimensional down so it's kind of overlapping that ribbon a bit. And on the other side, we'll put one right there. Use the edges of your dimensionals. Use them up. And we're going to set another one right here. Okay, so we've got our little span of area where we can have our dimensionals. And we'll stick this in there. Make sure our words are parallel to the top and the bottom of our tag piece. Now let's bring these back in. Remember I told you to fold that designer paper that you have here, that design, to the inside. Flip them over. Put adhesive along the entire back side of each on both sides of the score line. Now fold them back again like we just had. Look at your design in there and make sure it's going upright. Flatten your star column base down. Connect it right close to the top edge here on this side of the score line and on this side of the score line. So you have these little mechanism pieces, and you don't want them to connect yet, okay? So you've got your little mechanism pieces like that. This is where you're going to add your tag. We need to first look at our card base size. So this is the size of a normal card. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. We're just going to lay that down on here so that the base is right at the bottom, and that the top of this it can't go beyond the top, right? It has to stay within that little zone. And make sure it's centered. Lay it down. Press it in place. It'll all fit within an envelope. Ta-da! And now we have kind of like this little, I don't know, it's a half star column, but it's got this fun little extension on it now. It's just a different take on the way that I did the cards that I shared with you last week. So we have, let me find them all. So we have this card design. We have this card design. Oops, this one isn't finished on the inside. So much fun, you guys, right? Lots of purple. I do agree, there's lots of purple in this kit. I'm going to zoom out just a bit here so we can try to fit them all in. So there's that one. In fact, let's do this. I have some temporary adhesive. I'm just going to connect this together here. Connect this together here. This is tricks that people do when they photograph their cards for blogs. They use temporary adhesive. So there's that. And then we also have these beautiful cards coming in here. So many fun ideas, you guys, and that was just with a small amount of supplies from the kit. I literally took the supplies for one of each of the 2 cards, and I started creating, and I still have things that I haven't created with just those supplies. So I hope that you come back to see more. I share a couple times a month publicly. I also share with those who subscribe with me personally for their paper pumpkin kits. We share exclusive ideas for our subscribers. What do I want to tell you? Let me think here. I'm looking. Oh, the kits are $23.50 in the US, $23.50 plus tax. The shipping's included. Now, if you're going to get a prepaid subscription, that's a total different ballgame. It still gets you paper pumpkin kits, but it's a way of paying ahead. And you can ask me for more information about that, or you can look it up on my blog. I'm going to take you over to my website right now so that you can see information on the next kit. So we have, this is a peek at February's paper pumpkin kit. It's coming in a fun designed box. It obviously has bunnies and chickadees in it, maybe some daisies. And you can see again that it coordinates with that set of dies that I just shared with you. It's called Sweet Springtime, and it makes 9 projects, 3 each of 3 different designs. It includes printed cards, coordinating envelopes, and gift boxes. Cool. It also includes paper, baker's twine and embellishments. Coordinating colors are listed there, you can see. So check that out. Now I'm going to scroll to the top. This was the last card that I shared on my blog, and you can see here that I've got this tab. This little tab will take you to this menu under Paper Pumpkin. You can sign up for it, you can learn more, you can order a prepaid subscription. It walks through how to do that. But I also want to show you these, the older Paper Pumpkin posts and the recent. I need to update the older ones, but if you click on that, you can see that I have things in here that are marked from all the way at the beginning when Paper Pumpkin began in March of 2013. I have created with every kit. I don't always have a video, but you can go to my blog post and you can see the times that I've shared for every past kit. That's how much I love them. All right, what else do I want to share with you here? We have prizes coming up here. So yes, $23.50 per month, plus tax per month. By the way, if you get a kit and you don't like it, you're not committed. Even though it says subscription, you don't necessarily have to stay subscribed for a certain amount of time. You could get one kit and then stop the subscription. So it's guaranteed, okay? All right, so let's move on to prizes. I'm gonna move these things out of the way that are on my desk. You don't see that, do you? Let me bring you back over to my tabletop here, and oops, here I am. Okay, and I'm gonna bring in prizes. We had prizes from last week, and those were these stamp sets from another kit, but this is from the kits collection. These prizes are stamp sets because I had to purchase like 13, 14, 15 of these kits for a teen gift. And so I have all these extra stamp sets, rolls of twine, little pieces of adhesive, the mini dimensionals, and I have these extra gorgeous grape ink spots, which are the same colors that you have for your current Paper Pumpkin kits. So these are some past prizes. We're going to draw 7 names today. Okay, I have those already picked out, Trisha, no worries. And then the prize winners for today, for watching today, so these are live winners that Trisha's going to pick. The winners today get a couple packs of basic white cardstock. They are in like a 5x7 size, and a couple spots of ink. So you're going to get 2 little mini packs of cardstock. If you fold them in half, they're like the perfect note card size. And then you get to pick from the colors that you see here, or I can surprise you and send a couple colors, but I have lots of extra ink spots. Okay, so let me announce the winners that we've had. I'm going to bring you over to my blog for this, and we're going to click on winners here, you guys. Okay, and if your name is drawn, reach out to me at stampyourartout@comcast.net. The first few winners, 3 of them are from YouTube, and these are from After Live commenters from the video I shared last week. So Lisa Hartman, thank you for your sweet comment. You are one of my winners. Reach out to me at stampyourartout@comcast.net. We also have from YouTube After Live winners, Rebecca Chapman, and we have, oops, where did that name go? There it is. Penny Stanislavski, and then we have from Facebook, and these winners, we picked a few more from Facebook this time. These winners, sorry about that. These winners are from Live or After Live, could be either or, but Susan Susan DeVidio, and then we also have Tammy Shoes. We also have Carrie Karen, and we have Karen Moffat. So 7 of you are winners, all right? Yay! And then Trisha is in the midst of pulling up some names for us for the today's winners for our live commenters on YouTube. And she has chosen for us, and I'm just gonna get this out of the way here, we have Barbara Hayes and Darlene Gabriel. So you get the white cardstock and the choice of the 2 different ink spots. We have lots of goodies that are sitting in this craft room, you guys. So congratulations to those of you that are winners. Yay. And Trisha, thank you so much for posting several times. I caught the video and we timed it perfectly. I love it. Okay, so what else do I want to tell you about? I want to tell you about tutorials. I have, we're nearing the end of January, and I'm in a group called the All-Stars, and we do exclusive videos that are that include metric and imperial measurements. We offer them every month, and they are revolved around a certain suite that is a current suite of products. So I'm going to take you over to my blog, and I'm doing that from a different, hang on a minute, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to bring you over to my blog, and we're going to take a peek. By the way, if you'd like to subscribe, you can click on the home button and click on subscribe, and you can subscribe to my posts. But let's just click over onto blog, which will take you to the most current post. And I'm going to scroll down because at the end of every post, we have information. And this is current product information, new things going on, stuff that I wanted to tell you about. But at the very bottom usually is where my all-star video class is posted. If we click here for more information, you're going to see that we are currently in a subscription period for the tutorials. If you want to save and get in on 6 months worth of tutorials, this would be the time to do it. These are the demonstrators from all over the globe that are involved in the creations with me. You can maybe recognize some of those names. And here are the different suites that we have going on. But here's information on how you can subscribe. And you save $15. You save 1 month's worth if you subscribe before the end of this month. I just wanted to point that out because I noticed that the subscriptions kind of have stopped. And I thought, oh, maybe people need reminders. I just want to make sure you get in on it before the end of the month. Also, celebration is happening. So let's just go back here and scroll up to this information here. So celebration is a time of year when you purchase $50 worth of product, you get freebies. And so you'll want to visit that post because it tells all about it. It talks about the glass mat and how you can get your hands on it, all kinds of fun stuff. If you are a demonstrator and you've enjoyed this video, I would love it if you give me the thumbs up, you subscribe, share, that would be great. But purchase from yourself, okay? If you have a demonstrator, purchase from them, share the love, but also I'd love it if you can give me the thumbs up, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And then if you're new to my channel, thank you so much for sticking with me during this online paper crafting class. I hope you gained some great ideas. I hope that you come back. Again, thumbs up, subscribe, all of that. And I invite you to purchase from me if you live in the US. You can get all that information through the links of the description of my video by visiting my website at stampyourartout.com. You can shop from there. Again, this blog post will go live. It will go live shortly before 2 p.m. Okay, I have to have it done by 2, so the sooner the better, right? So I hope you visit back soon at the link that's in the description of the video. I'm transferring that description as soon as I can over to the Facebook video that we just had. And yes, come back and check it all out. You can see photos of the finished projects. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Lisa and Trisha. And now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye, everyone.